your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband. Tell me what's your name? Don't you play this game? You from another land, got you like it's contraband.
What's up, guys? This is pretty much number 3 of the videos I said, and this will be part 2 of Planet Uchiha. Now, we're just going to get started, and I'm pretty much going to leave where we left off. Pretty much where we left off was pretty much me talking to Orochimaru and pretty much having a conversation with him about making a perfect ultimate life form Uchiha. But pretty much that was that, and let's get started with new parts. Now, pretty much this is where I'm talking with Orochimaru and saying, Orochimaru, how's the success of the body going? Which pretty much this is where Orochimaru is saying, it's going great, Lord Kishan. Or pretty much King Kishan. Which pretty much I'm looking at Orochimaru saying, good, very good. Now, how's that body doing for you, Orochimaru? That ultimate body of Uchiha. Which Orochimaru smiles and says, ah, yes, the gracious gift you have gave me is quite beautiful and excellent. Which I pretty much smile and says, okay, so how's the ultimate Uchiha life form body doing? Which pretty much Orochimaru is smiling and saying, doing good. We're almost there and complete with it. She's almost ready. Which I'm pretty much saying, nice, almost ready, good. Keep up the good work. I will be coming back soon, okay? Which pretty much Orochimaru says, alright. Oh, and Kishan, which I pretty much look at Orochimaru and turn around saying, This is where Orochimaru asks me, so, what is you going to do with Sasuke Uchiha? Which I pretty much look at him and says, well, of course, I'm going to make him strong and train him as my pupil. Why do you ask? Which pretty much Orochimaru says, no, just asking. I was hoping that I can train him too. Which I give him a questionable eyebrow, says, oh, you want to train Sasuke too? Which Orochimaru says, yes, I want to give him a gift of a curse mark. Which I say, okay. I try to work my fingers around to try to get you Sasuke, but you might have to wait. Alright. And I begin to head out. But this is where I know that a Anbu ninja was spying on me and seeing what I'm doing. That was ordered by pretty much Danzo. No, not Danzo. Hiruzen. I mean, not Hiruzen, Danzo. To pretty much spy and see what I might doing. And pretty much have his Anbu ninjas coming back at him, which pretty much the Anbu ninjas tells what me and Orochimaru are doing, and pretty much Danzo says, interesting. And he pretty much smiles. This is where I pretty much is at the house. Pretty much this is where I meet with Minato, and I pretty much talk to him and have a conversation with Minato, which Minato is pretty much having a conversation with me, and I'm talking to Minato saying that, so, when are we going to form, when are the teams are going to get informed, and who been selected for teams, which this is where pretty much Minato says that the Team 7 will be Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke, which I says, that's good. And can you add one more person in it? Which pretty much Minato says, who is it? Which I say, Excalibur, my son. Which pretty much he says, okay. Which I pretty much smiles and says, good. And pretty much I say that Excalibur is only friends with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and pretty much friends with Shikamaru and Troji and Kiba, and that's only the people. That's only them. Now, after that, pretty much I head back home, and my son Excalibur runs up to me and saying, "Dad," which he pretty much says that he pretty much has a new jutsu, and I pretty much say, "Oh, what's that?" Which pretty much he says that it's kind of not a jutsu, but a little bit of it, and he pretty much shows me it. This is where he summons a blade, well, a katana, and he pretty much step back and he says, "Slice," and he creates a silent slice, pretty much slicing a thing in half without pulling out the katana. And I pretty much look at him with amazement and says, "Wow, nice job, Excalibur. You surprised me with that single slice." Which pretty much he says, "You proud?" Which I pretty much um pat his head and saying, "Yeah, you did great." Which he pretty much, which he pretty much is smiling with happiness, and I pretty much smile back at him. This is where I pretty much head in the room where pretty much Madara, female Madara, my queen, and she pretty much says that what is she going to be? What am I thinking about? Which I pretty much says, oh, nothing. Something might come up later on. Which she says, oh, is that so? Which I pretty much says, yeah. Now the next day, this is where I head out, and pretty much I be heading to the bell test because I'm going to be a part of Team 7 to pretty much watch over them. This is where Kakashi is walking by himself, pretty much visiting the grave site, which I pretty much walk beside him and pretty much looking at him and pretty much putting flowers by the grave, putting flowers at every single grave and stuff, and walking up to the grave of Rin. This is where Kakashi looks at me and says, "Oh, did you know her too?" Which I pretty much smile and says, "Yeah, I know her." Which Kakashi says, "Oh, what do you know about her?" Which pretty much I says, "Well, Rin, she's not." Which I pretty much spilled the beans and says, "Okay, sorry, I'm back." But pretty much this is where I talk to Kakashi and tell him that Rin is not dead. Which he pretty much wide-eyed and says, "Don't lie to me." Which I pretty much says, "Oh, you pierced her yourself, and you couldn't find the body." Which this is where I pretty much tell him a secret and says that Ren is not dead and Obito's not dead too. Which he pretty much is wide eyed too. Which he pretty much wants to know more and he prepares to fight me. Which I pretty much looks at him and says, "You can't touch me, even if I allowed it to. You will know due in time. But first, let's get to the bell test." Which pretty much he says bell test. Which I pretty much says yes. We're supposed to train our team 7. Which pretty much he says, "Wait, you're supposed to?" I said, "Yeah. Now let's go." Now this is where I'm pretty much going with Kakashi, and pretty much we say sorry we're late. Which Excalibur says, "Oh, Dad, you're here to do the test too with us? You're here. You're as one of our instructors too." Which I pretty much smile and says, "Yeah. What? You think I'm not a part of Team 7? I'm here to help out too." Which pretty much Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke is shocked, but my son is decided more or less I'm a part of the thing too. Now this is where I hold one of the bells, and Kakashi holds the other bell, and pretty much says that they have to, which I pretty much change the rules and says that they have to grab one of the bells from us, and if they can't, they're gonna get all sent back to the academy, which they're all shocked. Except for my son, he's determined now, and Sasuke too. Now this is where I pretty much is. This is where Kakashi is waiting by the tree, while I'm pretty much is creating a double ganger clone or making a double ganger and pretty much creating a fake bell and throwing it to my double ganger and saying, "All right, you ready?" Which my double ganger looks and we says, "All right," and start. And this is where everybody starts scattering. This is something for my son, which he pretty much creates the katana and pretty much says that he's going to get the bell for me, which I pretty much smile and says, "All right, we'll see you go." And I pretty much pull out my sword and saying, "Let's go then." And this is where I charges at my son. Well, my double game charges at my son. While I pretty much sit there and relax. Now, this is where my son is fighting my double ganger. And this is where Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura are making up a plan. Now, as they're making up a plan, this is where Naruto creates multiple shadow clones and starts charging at my double ganger and sending some of the other clones at me. This is where I look at look at the other clones and just use my force push and push them away. While and dispersing the two clones that was coming at me. While Sasuke jumps up and shoots three fireballs at no, two fireballs at me, while he shoots one fireball at Kakashi. This is where Kakashi dodged the fireball, while I pretty much look at the two fireballs and pretty much just phase through them. Well, pretty much just stand still and looks like I get hit by fireballs. This is where pretty much my son is pretty much fighting against my doppelganger and pretty much holding off a good fight against my doppelganger. While this is where Naruto helps out and pretty much forms a Rasengan and charges and hits my doppelganger, sending my doppelganger flying to a tree. Now this is where my doppelganger disappear, where I says, I'm impressed. Your teamwork is amazing. But I think this is the end, which this is where I begin to take off my glasses, well, my black shade glasses, and my son realized that I'm about to get serious. And he says, oh no, he's getting serious. Which pretty much Naruto says, serious? Which this is where I show my Galaxy Rinnegan. My Sharingan Galaxy Rinnegan, you could say. Or my Galaxy Rinnegan. And I begin to say, well, let's get this started. Well, I say, well, let's get this party started. And I snap my finger and begin to make thousands of Galaxy swords, spears, come out and start to rain down from the ground. This is where Excalibur grabs his sword and starts slashing the blades left and right and everywhere to protect Naruto, while Sasuke has to pretty much try to duck for cover and start shooting fireballs at the knives, but the knives are pretty much are light, so they begin to break and stuff. But Sasuke is losing a little bit more chakra that he can chew, and this is where Sakura begins to stop time and freeze all the knives around her and manipulate time. This is where she grabs Sasuke and pretty much runs to runs to Excalibur and pretty much gets in the circle. And Excalibur is slicing blades left and right and destroying all the blades. This is where I pretty much smile and says, "Huh, nice job for blocking all the blades." Which Excalibur breathing a little heavy and saying, "It's not over yet. Ready?" Which pretty much this is where they form a team and begins to start working together against me. This is where I does the clean blade slice down, creating a light slash straight at Excalibur, which this is where Naruto creates two clones and have the clone create a wind chakra armor, throwing the wind chakra armor clone straight forward at um at um at my blade thing and pretty much destroys it or disperse it, while Sakura comes in throwing each knives at me, which I pretty much just dodge both of the knives. But Sasuke comes right behind me, pretty much creating electric electric spear and charging straight at me and charging straight at me. Pretty much trying to hit me with it. Sorry about the loud noise. Um they're talking loud, but black family household. But let's continue. Pretty much this is where he throws electric a golden electric lightning spear at me, straight at my back, which pretty much I get hit by it, but I pretty much dodge out the way for the second one, which Sasuke to stab, and this is where Sakura dives straight down and punches me straight to my stomach, sending me flying a couple of meters, which I pretty much says, I guess that hurt a little bit. I guess, which I begin to heal myself rapidly with my very quick, drastic, instant heal. I begin to take the spear out and says, yeah, I did good. Which I begin to realize that my bell is gone. I said, huh, look like I took my bell. Hmm, what do you say, Kakashi? Which Kakashi pretty much looks and says, they pass. Which he gives them a thumbs up, which they're all excited. And I'm pretty much just smiling, saying, not bad for teamwork. Not bad at all. And this is where we start doing missions. Now, as we're doing missions, this is where um, Excalibur, Naruto, and Sasuke starts getting bored of these low missions and things to beneath him and demands for a higher mission talking to Fugaku. Now, this is where Fugaku looks at them and says they're not ready yet until I say that they're pretty much ready, which Fugaku looks and nods and says, okay, here goes this sea mission to protect Tazna, the bridge builder, which pretty much they're all excited about, which I already know Tazna and it's a higher mission, but I pretty much keep quiet and we start going. Now as we're going, this is where Kakashi and me and Naruto and Excalibur and Sakura and Sasuke is walking until we notice that it's a puddle. This is where Naruto, Sasuke, Excalibur, and Sakura immediately knows that something's not right because it haven't rained for a couple of days now, and I begins to be impressed, including Kakashi, until the two demon brothers comes out and start attacking. This is where Kakashi is about to substitute out there after about to get hit, until Sakura comes in, throwing the knives, pretty much hitting the demon brothers at their weak points, and Naruto using his clones, Naruto and Sasuke and Excalibur working together to knock out the demon brothers. This is where Kakashi looks at Tazuna and pretty much confront him, saying that this is looking like a little bit high mission, a little bit more dangerous than he thought. And this is where Tazuna spits the beans, saying that he didn't have enough money and he had to make it lure. This is where Kakashi asks the whole squad, does everybody wants to continue? And I say yes, and Sasuke and everybody else says agrees too, and we continue going. Now, as we're continuing going, this is where, sorry, this is where Naruto. Well, no, this is where Sasuke's sensitive ability, which I taught him how to do more better sensitive ability, since that there's two people, including Excalibur, which I pretty much is impressed and says, okay, how we're gonna do this? Which pretty much they said they just continue forward, and this is where Kakashi tells everybody to duck. This is where everybody's ducking except for me. I grab the blade and pretty much throws it back at Zabuza. This is where Zabuza catches it, just barely dodging it out the way and catching it and saying, "Huh, you gotta create powerful grip there." Which I pretty much smile and says, "Yeah, you too with that amazing throw." This is where pretty much Zabuza says his name and pretty much that he's one of the legendary seven swordsmen, which everybody's shocked, and I act like I'm shocked, and I says, "Oh, sorry, I can't take this serious," and I start laughing. This is where Zabuza saying, "You think this is funny?" Which I pretty much says, "Yeah, a little bit," and he begins to start charging at me. This is where I pretty much look at him and I say, "Fall," and he pretty much falls to the ground and not knowing what the hell's going on. This is where I pretty much says, "Oh, what's the matter? Can't get up," which he pretty much does some hand steals and shoot a water dragon at me. This is where I see the water dragon and I pretty much just dodge out the way. Like just instant. You could say like ultra instinct, but instant dodging out the way and saying, "Is that all you got?" Which he pretty much gets back up and saying, "I show you." Which Kakashi said he got this and he begins to start fighting with Zabuza until he gets caught as the original canon. Now as he gets caught, this is where I pretty much smack my face and saying, "Ah, Kakashi." And this is where I say, "Okay, Team 7, let's see what y'all can do." And they begins to start working together to get Kakashi out. Now this is where they use teamwork, and pretty much Excalibur uses hand styles and shoots file style black fire. I mean earth black fireball jutsu, shooting black fireballs. And this is where Zabuza dodges one out the way, but his water cone gets hit by the other one, and this is where Naruto pretty much is nowhere to be found, and Sasuke throws the wind dimming blade at Zabuza, which Zabuza dodged out the way, but it was secretly Naruto, which Naruto pretty much uses the seal and pretty much used the flying Raijin and pretty much hit Zabuza in the back, sending him a little bit flying back. Or yeah, sending him a couple meters flying back. This is where Kakashi gets back out, and this is where he gets serious and fight with Zabuza again until he gets hit by the Sunbow needles, and this is where Haku comes in with the clutch. pretty much taking them out of there and getting out. Now, this is where we pretty much head to Tazin's place, while I pretty much teach Sasuke and Excalibur how to water walk and tree walk. How to water walk, while Kakashi teach Sakura and Naruto how to tree walk, and we pretty much switch from there. This is where I go inside and talk to Kakashi and tell him that stuff is about to get real in the bridge builder, and we should train him a little bit more, which Kakashi agreed, and we just hit the sleep for tonight. And this is part 2 of Planet Uchiha. If you like, let's just get this up to like 30 likes and I do another part. But I'm Keyshawn Uchiha. Thanks for watching and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.